Gonska and Mason Beck going to be your front row. Jalen Wettengel stole the show literally last night, Pat, on like the last lap or the lap before, right around the outside. We'll see if he can do it again from the outside of the second row. Side by side coming into the first set of corners. It's going to be Gonska with the early race lead as Beck got all kinds of sideways, was able to hang on to it. Good driving by Blaine McMillan to not run smack through the zero machine. We come off a turn four to lead lap one. It's going to be Gonska out in front. It'll be Mason Beck in second. Boy, that battle for third was close. I don't really want to call that one. Scoring shows that it was Jalen Wettengel in that third position.
And like you mentioned, there was a lot of give and take there in that first turn. Luckily for everybody, they all came out of it. But some good, hard racing here early on.
Gonska looking good. Still your leader right now. Mason Beck closing the gap. We look mid-pack here. They are 2 by 2, about 4 rows deep there, Pat, from about fourth on back. That's what we expect out of stock cars, though. That's what we're looking for.
It's door-to-door action, and that's what you see every week from these guys.
Back down the front boulevard into turn number one. It's still Gonska out in front, but he cannot break away from that second place car, Pat. Just 0.2 of a second last time by as we watch mid-pack on screen right now. A good battle for third. Look at, we've got the Gorsuch Performance caution flag coming out. It's a 13J around at the bottom of turns 1 and 2. That is going to be Jonathan Hightower.
This is going to be interesting. Now we bunch them up a little bit again, kind of more like the start. We get a little double file action, and we'll see what Mason, if he picks the top or the bottom. Looks like he's leaning towards the bottom already, so we'll see. But what a great race so far.
For sure. I mean, again, these cars are just so equal and so even around the racetrack. Give and take is the name of the game in this division for sure. You see a lot of drivers, the cars race really close. Someone will be ahead and then behind and then ahead again. It's just really impressive to see the respect that these guys have for one another on the racetrack. I believe we are 4 laps down, 16 to go. Gonska again going to lead the field through that first set of corners. They were about 4 wide there for a moment. Blake Adams, watch the 14 machine here, Pat, working real good around the bottom as Josh Kane goes for a wild ride through 3 and 4.
He does. Blake Adams had that car pivot nice down on the bottom through that moisture, and he had a great restart. Now fighting for, he's into fourth down the backstretch.
Having a real good run here. We've got a couple cars around on the other end of the racetrack. That's the 82.
Joey Richmond
taking the detour there through the infield, and the 75 machine of Randy Smith
Jr. Yep.
I'll give a quick shout out from a gentleman and a friend of the program, Pat Fagan of Fast Shafts, watching back home. We miss you here, Pat, but some great racing going on with a lot of your drive shafts, I'm sure, on board.
Another friend of the program tuning in. Of course, the owner of the Humboldt Speedway, JR and Katie Sartain, chiming in with FOE Enterprises. He'll be over here tomorrow evening checking out the final night of the King of America here at the Humboldt Speedway. So glad to have them tuning in when they couldn't be here. Tyler Davis come over here. Him and JR are business partners, and Tyler had to come and play. So JR had to stay home and take care of the kids, so to speak, as far as making sure the businesses stayed good. So, off of turn number 4, green flag back in the air. Your stock cars back to it.
Gonska once again going to lead the field through that first set of corners. Look at Adams again on the bottom there, Pat. They're 3 deep for third spot.
And the old saying, rubbin's racing.
Yes, it is.
It's pretty fitting. These restarts have been super tight for second, for fourth, for sixth.
But nobody really, as I say that, we've got some contact down there on the front straightaway. But so far, really everybody been racing with respect and giving space when needed. As Adams gets a little squirrely there off the bottom of turn 2, going to slide back just a little bit. Boy, the car up and down with the throttle movement there, Pat, as a little bit of a buck and bronco there through the other end on 3 and 4.
Yeah, they're picking up a little moisture down through the middle of both corners.
Yeah.
And It's definitely hiking these stock cars over onto the right rear, and it makes it a handful to drive when it does that.
Boy, Kane got his hands full with that 3 machine for sure, trying to run down last night's featured winner, Jalen Wettengel. The field nose to tail down the front straightaway, but they really kind of branch out when we come to the corners. Everybody files back into line, it looks like, down the back chute into 3.
You know, this is starting to look like last night. The 91J of Wettengel, he just started to kind of make that middle groove come in, and maybe tonight he does the same thing and makes that line come in for himself, because he's kind of right out there where he was last night.
Going to be halfway this time by, so Jalen's still got plenty of time to make something happen here as we are now at the halfway mark, 10 down, 10 to go. Eric, we watch him cross the halfway mark here. It's still Gonska out front, but Mason Beck not going without a fight.
No, he's not. Beck trying to challenge to the inside of Gonska, and like you guys said, Wettengel just slowly inching closer and closer to the front, but he's also bringing a perennial stock car contender, Kane, with him as well. We saw at the end of the A feature last night, it was 4 cars going for the win. Could we see the same thing again tonight?
Yeah, and Josh Kane and Wettengel were two of the players last night in a very similar situation.
Gonska still your leader now with 12 down and 8 to go. But, boy, Mason Beck had a wheel underneath him that time past the stripe there, Pat. And maybe take the spot off of turn 2. Boy, the power from that 5 machine. Gonska's got him a hot rod.
He's got some speed, and he carries some speed up on top like that. But I think right now he's going to be able to cross over.
Gonska crosses Beck over. It's like he was waiting on it. Tries to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Peels the 0 up off the bottom of the speedway. So Gonska, maybe he learned something from last night. Beck showed his nose. So Gonska played the patience game and took the preferred line back away from him. While those two are battling side by side, much like last night. Here comes Wettengel. Here comes Kane. 2 by 2. They march through 1 and 2. Hightower, all kinds of out of shape, and now that mixes them all up as here comes Adams.
Oh, man, and I think Mason Beck got the short end of that stick, as did Jalen Wettengel. Beck slow, in fact, at the top of turn 4, flat right rear. Flat right rear for the 0 machine.
That's too bad, because that was really the race of the night so far. It was really shaping up to be a heck of a finish, and still may be, but tough luck there for Mason Beck with that right rear flat.
Yeah, just the tiniest little bit of contact, man. It really cut that right rear shoe down, and she is sitting on the ground.
Well, especially the 13J of Hightower. You look at the front end of that thing, was unable to put the nose back on the car after last night, so has some of those exposed bumper bars. You wonder if one of those rubbed the tire, and that's what caused the flat tire situation.
Very possible. You see the right rear pretty low on the 13J machine as well. It's not completely flat, but it's close.
It's on the way there. Yeah, it is.
So we've had a little bit of a shuffle in the lineup here up front, boys. Of course, Mason Beck, unfortunately, taking it off the racetrack.
I was pretty sure Josh Kane was going to pick the bottom. That's where he's been all night. So
it's been working well for him.
It has,
also.
and so he has the opportunity to make that choice, and he definitely is going to take advantage of that.
Well, Jalen Wettengel got shuffled back a little bit there with the lap car snafu, so he's going to be scored in 4th, at least what I'm looking at right now. Shows him to be in the 4th spot. So it looks like Mason Beck not coming back to the speedway, did not go to the Danny Crane Racing Engines hot pit to get that tire changed. So it's going to be Gonska out in front. Josh Kane now 2nd spot, like you mentioned, Pat, choosing that inside line. That's going to put Blake Adams on the outside of that double file row. I think he gained a lot there when the 13 of Hightower got sideways. Adams was able to capitalize and pick up a couple spots because he had fallen back, shuffles him back up into 3rd. Jalen Wettengel still being scored in 4th, and Chase Galvan rounds out the top 5. We are coming to green with 5 laps to go.
Great restart by Blake Adams.
Yes, it was.
Shoots into 2nd.
Did not leave Josh any option. Is now Wettengel with a huge save there, Pat. Oh, man. We might, I bet he pinched a hole in the seat on that one. That got real sideways real fast. Is Gonska going to lead one more? The 5 machine, we haven't really talked about him a whole lot, but he has been on a tear.
Lots of, there's been some give and take, but the give and take might be going away with less than 5 to go.
I think it's about to be all take right now. I think you're right. We're coming to 17 complete this time by. You've got a new race leader, Josh Kane. out of New Mexico. Going to lead them here with 3 laps to go. And here comes Adams in the 14. Look at the top side of the speedway. The 0 of Chase Galvan coming to play as well. 3 deep into turn number 3.
Yeah, Galvin throws it hard to the top side. Adams got by for second. 2 laps to go this time. Josh Kane now starting to run away on the bottom of the racetrack, but 3 cars still battling out for the runner-up spot as Adams tries to pull away.
Yeah, Kane going to be coming to the Hochatown Saloon. Last call. The white flag in the air this time by. Not a great corner for Blake Adams. I think that might seal the deal here as Josh Kane got a couple of car lengths on the field coming off of turn 2 for the final time. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. The checkered will wave. Josh Kane gonna get the win in the stock car main event. It'll be Adams in second, but not by much. Galvin, I think, had he had a couple more laps, would have picked up 1 more spot at least. Gonska in 4th after leading like 16 or 17 laps of this thing. And James McMillan going to round out the top 5 in the 8 machine.
Well, if